Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today I'm going to be reviewing a fan film, The Masters of Luxor. Is that how you say it? Luxor, I forget. Now this was a story that was originally written by Anthony Coburn, who of course also wrote An Unearthly Child, and was going to originally be produced as Doctor Who's second story, but was, of course, ultimately replaced by the Daleks. So, a group of people decided to take that script, cut it down into 4 episodes, and do a fan film of it, which I'll add a link to down in the description if you want to check that out. This was actually a patron request. One of my patrons, Unknown289, wanted me to give it a watch. I think he wants me to also listen to the Big Finish audio, which I will get to at some point, and then probably compare them. But I started with the fan production. It is a mixed bag. From a visual standpoint, it looks really good. It looks like 60s Doctor Who on a budget. But I'm impressed with how good they got it to look. Like, the sets look good. The costumes look good. The robots look good. It all fits in with that 60s First Doctor vibe really well. It's very visually pleasing. I like some of the audio cues as well. I like how it doesn't try to be a Hartnell First Doctor story. It takes place almost in like a parallel dimension, because I think of most things existing in a multiverse, and I've done that for a long time, and we know Doctor Who exists in a multiverse because we've seen the Doctor go to other universes. So I think of this as simply a different universe. The First Doctor doesn't try to be like Hartnell's First Doctor. It's a different version of him. He's actually more like the Seventh Doctor. He actually does things a lot that make me think of the Seventh Doctor. His hair definitely makes me think of the Seventh Doctor. Like, there's a scene when Susan's about to drink what is implied to be wine, and the Doctor, as she raises it up, kind of grabs it out of her hand without missing a beat and takes it away from her. Which is very much something Seven would have done to Ace. So I like that. There's a couple other moments too. He kind of reminds me, like, what if the Seventh Doctor had traveled with Susan and picked up Ian and Barbara? And that was pretty interesting. I like the concept. And actually, I don't even think it's Susan's his granddaughter. I think it's his niece in this one, which I think is a nice little call to, I believe, the the Cushing movies. So that works really well. I enjoyed that aspect of it. That is just, I don't have to try to accept this person as the characters we know, just played by different actors, because I think of it as a parallel universe Doctor and companions. And that works really well for me. The downside, the real downside, is the performances. The acting is, in some cases, abysmally bad. Now, it's a fan production. These are not professional actors. This is a fan production. You have to accept that. Now, some of them aren't bad at all. The guy playing the perfect one I like. The guy playing the scientist that created the perfect one I liked. And the guy playing the Doctor is fine. He's not stellar, but he's fine. He's acceptable, especially since he's playing a kind of unique take on the Doctor. That works. The problem is the girls playing Ian and Barbara and the guy playing Ian. They are really bad. As someone who was a theater major, who did plays, who did musicals and all of that, I found myself gritting my teeth. Like, every time they would talk, I would be over there like, it was really, really horrid. That sounds so mean, and if they ever see this, I apologize. I'm not trying to sound mean. Doing a review like this is really tricky, because it's easy to criticize, official episodes, because you have a budget. You can make things look good. You should have a good story. You should have a good cast. So if those things aren't hitting right, it's easy to criticize them, like Kill the Moon or In the Forest of the Night. It's easy to criticize them, because they should have been better or not been made at all. With a fan production, it's different. It's just a bunch of fans putting something into something they love. But on the other hand, I don't want to just sit here and do a video where I sing its praises because it's a fan production, yay! Because that's also not fair to you guys as viewers who want my honest opinion, and just in general. So it's really hard to do something like this, because how do I give an honest review without sounding like a complete asshat? And that's hard. It's hard. But the main problem I had with this was the acting of those three performers, the two girls and the guy playing Ian. It was just... The story itself also didn't really grip me, the actual story. I get it was edited down to 4 parts from whatever it was originally going to be. But the story just didn't do much for me. I found myself getting very, very bored. I was getting distracted. I was messing on my phone, especially like in parts 2 and 3. I was sitting there fiddling on my phone. Part 4 picked up a little bit, and I did like it better. Some of the model work also works really good, like the bass, the actual bass they're on. Like I said, visually it looks really good. I'm really impressed with it visually. And some of the audio sounds and stuff work really well. The set design looks really good. And again, a couple of the performances are really good. I can say that if this wasn't a Patreon request, I would not have finished it. I wouldn't even have gotten through part 1. The acting just put me off so bad. The Tardis interior also looked pretty good considering what it was. But the only reason I got all the way through it was a Patreon request. And Unknown 289 has been a huge supporter of the channel. He sent me a couple big finished CDs back when. He's one of my patrons. And he darts back and forth between the tiers. Sometimes he's just on the little free tier. Sometimes he's on like the $2 tier, the $5 tier, the $10 tier. He's jumped around a bit because his finances are probably like mine, all over the place. And he does what he can when he can, which is always appreciated. He's definitely been a huge supporter of the channel, though. So I definitely wanted to get this review done, and I definitely did get through the story. But I can say that if I had just stumbled across it and was watching it for fun, I wouldn't have made it all the way through it. Unlike, say, Mind Bomb, which I really liked. I reviewed Mind Bomb recently, which is a 4th Doctor story, and I loved it. I'm looking forward to part 2. I think it's only going to be a 2-parter. But part 1 was really good. It really drew me in. And Hudson Media's two of his audio stories I really like. The one with the 10th Doctor on the island, and it's all in black and white. It's really good. And then the Blind Man's Stare, where the dad's trying to find his son, I believe. And there's a weeping angel involved. That one's really, really good. I've really enjoyed those. And I still need to watch Hudson's. I need to listen to his I when I keep forgetting about that. I got to do that because he does some really good stuff. And so that's another reason I have to be honest in these reviews. That way, when I do have one that I just praise endlessly, you know it's coming from the heart. I'm not just saying it to be nice and to be kind. I'm saying it because I genuinely enjoyed it. So when I do fan stories, I'm going to give my honest opinion. The things I like, I'll talk about. The things I don't like, I'm going to talk about. I don't say it to sound mean. I simply say it because it's my honest opinion, and that's just what I give, just like I would an official story for Doctor Who. So, yeah, I wouldn't have made it all the way through this. I wouldn't have finished part 1. I just wouldn't have. Even though, again, there are aspects of it I like. The acting put me off so bad that I wouldn't have made it. Was it a fun watch? No. Again, I can admire things about it. The visual aspects. The actor playing the perfect one. The actor playing the scientist. The actor playing the Doctor, again, was fine. And I appreciate that it seems to do its own spin on the first Doctor era with it being in a parallel universe. They're pretty obvious about that. I respect that. But it was not... It was a chore to get through. It was a chore. I kept getting distracted on my phone. I won't lie. A bit of a chore. So, the fan film, Master of Luxor, have you seen it? What do you think of it? Did you like it more than I did? Do you have some of the same criticisms I do? I will leave a link to it down in the description in case you want to check it out. You might enjoy it more than I did. My apologies if anyone involved sees this. I don't mean to offend anyone. I'm really big on giving honest opinions and honest reviews. So comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button. I also have a P.O. box if there's anything you would like to send me to look at and review. I also have a link to my Amazon wish list down there, as well as a link to my Amazon UK wish list, which I have updated recently with some standard edition sets I'd like. I want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Colin Coney and Finn Perkins. I appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. Every single one of you is very much appreciated, including Unknown 289, who's again been a long supporter. And most importantly, thank you for watching.